Om Swaha. Take 3. I haven't done a video in a while. It's been 3 months. I did the video on Elon Musk, and I predicted that within 3 months, around 3 months, if not a year, that there would be a falling out between him and President Trump. And my prediction came true. Yay! We can count on 70% of predictions coming true. I'm not God, so I don't know everything. Can't predict everything, but I wanted to go over Saturn, which moved into Aries recently as of May 24th, because Saturn plays a role as the commander-in-chief of the planets. It's the one that's very responsible, normally rules Capricorn, so it deals with building things and physical structure. So I want to read something to you that I wrote up on Facebook and also have on my monthly column. Remember, I do have a monthly column on my website, www.yogavisionaries.com. So if you want to tune in to my monthly column, you can go to my website. I always have my monthly updates up. You can click a like, subscribe, whatever, to so this can circulate more throughout the world. Saturn moved into, as I've already said, May 24th of 2025. It moved into the sign of Aries. Saturn takes 2.5 years to move through a sign. It will move back into Pisces in retrograde motion in September of 2025. Then it will move back into Aries in February of 2026 in direct motion. Will not go back into Pisces for another 28 to 30 years. Saturn will be hovering around Neptune in Aries with an exact conjunction meaning they're merging, to Neptune for the month of August of 2025, which is main reason why I'm doing this tape today. Happy Father's Day. It's June 15th to all those good fathers out there of 2025. And so Saturn, first of 2 conjunctions to Neptune, will happen on as it gets into like around August, the middle of August, August 13th to September the 13th is really the very fertile time for Saturn to manifest, express itself through the sign of Aries. Saturn is welcoming a minor grand trine between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I did a separate video, I believe, on the minor grand trine, so you can listen to that. Saturn in Aries wants to get things moving. Aries, which is a part of the Aries, vibration. Neptune in Aries also wants the movement to come from etheric realms. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And it's getting involved in a minor grand trine by sextiling Uranus and Gemini. And Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Pluto is in Aquarius. That's the higher octave of Mars. So you got these 3 transpersonal planets that are forming this minor grand trine. And this is going to be really helpful for manifesting Kundalini electrical energy, okay? Manifesting from higher realms down to earth, to build new energy Saturn, which allows more advancements in technology, new contacts with U.F.O races, and purification in the environment that has everyone holding their breath. Saturn is not strong in Aries, okay? It's in its fall. So Saturn may be too weak to stop other downloads of information, other information from higher worlds to enter our local Vega galaxy. Saturn is the police officer that guards others from trespassing into our galaxy. Saturn will be sleepy, allowing other information and intelligence to move past the normal solid boundaries of Saturn. Neptune wants to dissolve, but Saturn wants to build. And the minor grand trine wants universal communications. Uranus and Gemini, starting on July 7th. Uranus will move into Gemini of 2005, which isn't that far away, is taking the vibration of higher dimensional life and communicating it down into planet Earth, here on Earth. The middle of July till the end of November will have many adjustments for all of us here on Earth. August, September will be the most intense for this new download of 3, with the first one happening in August, September of 2025, but it does start to become fertile the middle of July till the end of November of this year, 2025. It will be an intense time that will have the world leaders at the edge of their seats. They will not have a choice but to surrender to a much higher expression of life, a higher frequency, a higher vibration. The power of nature and higher intelligence is about to disrupt well-defined plans. So when you look at the signs, Aries is the sign that's been, the eclipses over the last couple of years have been in Aries and Libra. So that's where the war, manifestation of violence has come, manifestation of violence. I keep repeating myself because I'm doing this on a Sunday. Sunday, I found ever since I was a child that it is the worst day for me to kind of feel like, I want to get my thoughts coherently together and communicate them. So bear with me if I'm repeating things or whatever. I had time just today to do this, and I really wanted to get going because I haven't done a video on my YouTube in 3 months. So, and I wanted to show you this minor grand trine, and I have shown this in another video. This is August the 25th, okay? August the 25th of 2025. Now remember I said that August 13th to September 13th, the minor grand trine, which is here. See how it's a smaller triangle. The regular trine, grand trine, is a much larger triangle. And you can see that there's actually a grand trine forming with the moon in Libra on August the 25th of 2025. At the same time, we are at a peak situation with Saturn. Here's Saturn at 0 degrees, but it's going to be at 1 degree and bumping into Neptune. So there's going to be that Neptune-Saturn conjunction that I was just talking about. At the same time, sextiling to Pluto in Aquarius at 1 degree. And then we have Uranus in Gemini at 1 degree. And all these beginning degrees, 1 degree is the initiation degree. And, we have the moon in Libra at 0 degrees on August the 25th. You might want to mark that down on your calendar because there may be UFO contact of some sort or UFO disclosures going on. The government is ready to do a disclosure. How much of it they will disclose is another thing. For people who've been into UFOs in the community, it's been a good 90 years, that we've waited for the government to disclose things. We don't really need to wait any longer because we already know that it's happening. We don't need the government to tell us that certain things are going on. We already know it. So don't give them so much power is my point. Political leaders on the Republican side, Josh Hawley of the state of Missouri, Tim Burchett, Republican of the state of Tennessee, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Anna Paulina Luna, who's also on the Oversight Committee. I believe she's a Republican in the state of Florida, for the state of Florida. These 4 are not alone, but they are some of the major players on the Republican side who would like to see disclosure. So my point is, during these times, and I will put more dates in the note section of this video, all the exact dates in 2025, 2026, and 2027, when in the very beginning of 2028, when we could have a major UFO contact from other extraterrestrial races that are more benevolent than we are. The Pleiadians are going to be one of the first ones. They are about 8,000 years ahead of us technologically. The average age is anywhere from 700 to 1,000 years old. They have no health issues, no cancer, no diabetes, no dementia, Alzheimer's, or any of these kinds of Parkinson's and all these diseases. So they're going to help us. They're not going to save us. I keep hearing everybody go, "Oh, we don't believe in that. Somebody outside is going to save us." It's not about saving us. It's about we are in a graduation period on this planet, and we need to take the next big step forward in our evolution. In order to do that, we do need help. We don't need somebody to save us. But, you know, if you can learn something from other cultures, that can help dissipate the violence. And that's the other thing. The violence that's going on right now all over the world, really. I mean, there's quite a few hotspots of violence, bombs being dropped, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see that that is going to, this could be like a double-edged sword. We have the light of pure consciousness streaming down. You could say download 8.0, excuse me, coming up, you know, in between the middle of July, the end of November, but very ripe and fertile in August and September, August 13th to September 13th especially. That's going to come down, and you get this violence, you get this disruption of incoherence and violence that comes up because things are being stirred up at the bottom of the pot. They're coming up and getting cleared out. So there's a lot of purification going on. Yes, it doesn't look pretty. You wonder why there isn't an intervention of higher extraterrestrial races to help take care of this situation. But we have to learn, for whatever lessons we're learning through that. They will not allow a full-blown nuclear war to happen. So they will allow limited amounts of a nuclear war. You know, they have over the years. We've tested atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, and stuff in different areas in the ocean and on land, and they've allowed that, and they've also helped us to keep the radiation in a certain area. And some people have gotten health problems from this, working in certain areas like Area 51. And, you know, it hasn't helped them, but it has helped. They have helped it not to spread out. One example would be Japan, the tsunami that hit the nuclear power plant. That radiation, if it was allowed to circulate through the trade winds, it could have killed everybody in California, you know, and so, and other areas. So they are helping, but they can only, they're allowing us to work out our free will. But that time frame between May of 2025 and May of 2029, so you got a 4-year period where we've got this minor grand trine active, and I will put the dates in the notes of the most active dates, fertile times that it's going to manifest. But for now, in 2025, with Saturn moving into Aries, Saturn is kind of half asleep in Aries. So when the commander is asleep, the other UFO communities can be allowed to come in, and UFOs to, you're going to see more UFO sightings is my point. During the times mentioned, alarming number of UFO sightings to the point where the governments cannot, they're going to have to answer some questions to the public as to what's going on. So let's see what happens during this first round of, you know, between the middle of July and the end of November, but specifically between in August and September. And I wish everyone the best. Saturn and Aries. For the sign of Aries, we're at the end run of the eclipses in Aries and Libra. So in September of 2025, we aren't getting any eclipses in Aries for a number of years, okay? We're getting them more in Pisces and Virgo. And the North Node moved into Pisces at the beginning of 2025. So now we got the North and South Node in Pisces, Virgo, you know, and that's very good instead of Aries and Libra. So now do we have the eclipses more in Pisces and Virgo coming up, especially in full thrust from September onward, September of 2025. But we also have the North and the South Node. Virgo deals with health, so you're going to see in August issues about the healthcare system and what's going on with the health insurance companies and stuff. I think that's about it. I just wanted to wish everyone a blissful minor grand trine season coming up. And hopefully this helps you out a bit. Saturn is the builder of the zodiac, and when it gets connected with Neptune, the dissolver, you know, and it's in its fall, it has to, not has to, but It wants to surrender to a higher frequency vibration of Venus, which is love and kindness and beauty and unity and all that. That's on the opposite side of all the violence we're seeing. So expect the wars and stuff to be, and Mother Nature to be on full throttle until September, when we get a new eclipse cycle. And hopefully this minor grand trine can bring in some really wonderful energy, as it should, in August and September. And starting at about the middle of July, we have Jupiter moving. It just moved into Cancer on June the 6th. And Neptune moved into Aries on March the 29th. This is all in 2025. Uranus will move into Gemini on July 7th. So after July 7th, towards the middle of July, things are really going to get moving. And so I wish everybody great blessings. Namaste. Om Swaha.